is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and for this one I wanted to share my thoughts with you guys on these new character reworks, because it's been almost 6 maybe 7 months since we've gotten character reworks in this game, and I never thought we'd be seeing another one, because Netmarble has been kind of leaving these guys in the dust for a long time, guys, especially freaking Ultron. I never thought the day would come, because a lot of us, myself included, have been begging for a rework for this guy for quite some time. I'm not sure why Netmarble chose these 3 characters. I know Ultron is long overdue, so that's a given, but I'm not sure why they chose Star-Lord, and I'm not sure why they chose Gamora. Now, Star-Lord and freaking Ultron with this rework are going to move up a little bit. Before this, I would say Star-Lord was a C tier. Right now, with the rework, I would say he's a solid B tier. Ultron was one of the worst universal characters in the game, a solid D tier, maybe a D minus, maybe a straight F, depending on how you want to grade him. Okay, right now I'm gonna put him in the exact same position as freaking Star-Lord, maybe even a little bit higher, just because of the changes that he got are actually very good. We'll touch on that in a sec. So I'm gonna give him a B plus. We'll touch on that in a second. What I want to really touch on first is Gamora, guys. It is long since known that Gamora, in my personal opinion, is the worst speed character in the game and the worst character overall in the freaking game. I know a lot of us like to joke and throw fun at Hulkling, but Hulkling is actually a better character than Gamora. Not by much, but he's still better. He has an iframe and he has a stun, and if you put both of these characters in the exact same situations, I can guarantee you Gamora will die before Hulkling would, and Hulkling would deal more damage than Gamora. So by those comparisons, Gamora is a weaker character and overall has less survivability than he does. So for me, that makes it so that she's the worst character of the 2 and the worst in the game overall. With that aside, what I want to know is why Netmarble didn't actually do anything for Gamora's base kit. If you're gonna touch the worst character in the game and try to make her playable, why are you not starting with the base kit? We've known for quite a little while now that Netmarble has the potential to actually make characters go from literally absolute nothingness to being amazing. We've seen that before, and we've seen it with Elektra, guys. Before Gamora, Elektra was the pun of every joke. She was known to be the weakest character in the game, and that was before she even had a uniform. Gamora has 2 uniforms. Freaking Elektra didn't even have a 5 skill. They completely rebuilt the character from the ground up, took her from being damn near useless to being a character that can actually clear ABX and get over 100k, that can take down world bosses, that can take down freaking Shadowland stages if you have the skill and know how to play her. So why is Gamora not getting the same treatment, especially when she's hailed as one of the most deadly characters in the universe? So I'm not really sure what's going on here. Her kit is just absolutely freaking disgusting. No CC, no iframes, no nothing. I just cannot believe that if they were going to touch the character, they wouldn't actually just start with the base kit, because nothing's changed, guys. Take a look at the base kit for yourself. Not a damn thing. No iframes in sight. You got a little bit of bleed. Oh well, what's bleed really doing for you in world boss mode? Not a damn thing. The skills look cool, and I love the movement on the skills, but that alone is not enough to say she's a good character. Okay, the movement can move you out of the way of some attacks, but that is not enough. That is not enough. The world bosses, the Shadowland characters, they all have tracking. They'll catch you and you'll die in like 30 seconds. Okay, so why they didn't start with the base kit, for me, seems like another attempt to get you to spend money. Now, if they were trying to get you to spend money by making it so that her uniform is better, because the uniform is the only part of the character that actually got an improvement, and they only gave her 1 freaking change. Now take a look at that, guys. Okay, cool. For the most part, the skills look exactly the same. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, no iframes, no nothing. The 4 skill is the only thing they changed. They gave her a long, not full, take a look. It's not a full iframe. There are small gaps in there where you can actually still take damage. A long iframe that actually now looks like it has a good bit of power behind it. However, this still only does so much for the character. It's not going to take it to being a top tier character. I would say this moves her out of the freaking spot as being a garbage character to being a recyclable if you pick up this uniform. So to me, this alone does not justify the cost of the uniform. You are freaking kidding me, Netmarble. I praised you guys yesterday for being brave enough to give us an apology and say you'll take the loot box out the game. However, this will not fly. This is not good enough for the character. Sorry, the character still needs more than this. And if you're gonna try to get us to buy a uniform, you gotta do more work than just give the character one iframe and a cool looking laser freaking skill. Like, really? Really? This may be good enough for people who already buyed the uniform. I said buyed. Wow, English. This may be good enough for people who already bought the uniform, okay? Because they already got ripped off. For people who are actually considering this, this shouldn't be worth your money, okay? This should not be worth your money when you can get so much more out of other characters' uniform. This is absolutely disgusting. And Netmarble, I cannot believe that if you're gonna touch the character that is at the bottom of the game, you didn't actually do more than this. One skill change for 750 crystals, that's not gonna do too much for the character, is absolute garbage. You're gonna be in a fight and you're gonna literally be doing this, guys. Running, running, running. Use this freaking skill and run away like hell. And while you're running, the enemies are hitting you because, let's be real, they have tracking on their skills and they have long range skills. So all you're gonna be doing is running like hell, and maybe you can get off like something like the freaking one skill that has some movement on it. But even that puts her right back in the face of the enemy and they're just gonna backhand her. Like really? Like really? Like really? This skill looks fan-freaking-tastic. However, not every enemy can be CC'd and stun locked. So not being an iframe, no guard, no nothing, not good enough for me, and it shouldn't be good enough for you. I'm sorry, Netmarble, but you need to come back with something better than this for Gamora. She's the freaking deadliest woman in the universe, or so they proclaim. So not good enough for me. Sorry, figure it out. You should have did what you did for Ultron and actually worked on the freaking base kit. Okay, if you're gonna do something for the base kit for Ultron, you should have did it for Gamora too, because both of them were for the most part in the exact same place in their respective classes. Take a look at Ultron. He actually gets a freaking guard. He actually gets a guard that will apply to his summons. Yeah, take a look, guys, because his summons are not very strong. They have really low HP pools. So this guard getting applied to his summons are actually very good, because whenever he attacks with the summons, he can just give them the freaking guard, and that will make it so the enemy have to actually hit the guard off the minions, and then they can access their HP pools. So very, very good there. And on top of that, they actually gave him iframes on skills that should have always been iframes. Like this, when he's in the air, that should have always been an iframe. This, when he's in the air, should have always been an iframe. The range, I would have liked it if they had made it a little bit further away from the enemy, because you'll see right there he has to run up. I'm not really too fond of that, but I can't really complain, because this kit that they gave him, like that iframe there as well, so 3 iframes, not very long iframes, but that is fine. And this skill actually have better tracking than it did before. So I'm very happy with the base kit for Ultron as of right now. This actually gives him some all attack and all defense as well, and this also gets applied to the clones, I believe. Let's go ahead and check. I know the guard does, because you can see the all attack and all speed and all that stuff also gets applied to the clones. So that is very good, and this is a new mechanic, because I've never seen a freaking buff skill gets applied to clones. I've never seen it. Minions, clones, whatever you guys want to call them. So yeah, very, very happy with Ultron's base kit. Ultron was my very, very first 6-star character in this game. My original team when I started this game was Ultron, Giant Man, and Vision. And Giant Man was essentially the Jean Grey of my time, where I saw an old as hell for saying that. But anyways, when I started this game 2.5 years ago, Giant Man was the character that you would use for story missions, special missions, Battle World, which were the hardest game modes at the time. Then they came out with World Boss, and freaking Alliance Battle was there. But Alliance Battle was never really a place for Giant Man, okay? And Giant Man you would throw in the story missions to plow down the competition. Battle World, same thing, simply because he had the kind of HP and defense that you needed to hold it down, similar to how Jean Grey can just kind of plow down the competition, and if she dies she revives. So that essentially means she has a bigger HP pool than the majority of the characters in the game. Anyways, not what the point of this story is about. The point of this story is that both Vision and Giant Man are actually in the center point of their classes. Vision kind of needs his tier 2 to be there, whereas Ultron, one of my favorite characters, one of my first characters, is actually sitting at the bottom. With this, I would say he's above both of them right now, even at tier 1, to be honest. And this is going to make him a very good character for World Boss. He's going to be a very good character for, I would say, Shadowland, definitely, especially those villain stages and those universal villain stages that everyone actually had to use Loki, who are now Hela for. He's not going to be a candidate for. However, the downsides of a character rework is that when the character becomes stronger for you to play, the version of the character that you face inside Shadowland also becomes more formidable. Keep that in mind. Every version of the character throughout the game will become stronger. Because of that, when you go into those universal supervillain stages that now have Ultrons, the clones are going to be stronger. Whenever he uses this 4 skill, the clones are going to get a shield, and he's going to have more iframes to interrupt you than ever before. So be ready for that. We've all wanted this rework for a long time. It's not as good as we would have liked. However, it is a start, and hopefully one day when he gets another uniform, because Ultron has many forms, he will get a little bit better, maybe an A tier, maybe even an S class, who knows, maybe a God tier, because Ultron is definitely one of the best and baddest supervillains in the Marvel universe. So I don't want to spend all day showing you guys his skill set, because I'm actually really happy, and I will definitely be showing you guys some gameplay with him once I get around to it. But I just want to give you guys my thoughts on the overall changes to the character. Very, very happy with Ultron. It's more than I thought he would get, simply because I saw how bad freaking Gamora was. I actually looked at Gamora first, and when I saw that, I got so mad. So I was expecting freaking Ultron to be worse, even though it sounded good on paper, but it looks good. Okay, so Ultron for me definitely bumped up the ladder to a solid B. Gonna be a Shadowland character, a World Boss character, a good beginner character now. So if you're starting out and you're picking up universal characters, you can pick him up, because all of these changes get applied to the base character. Okay, he's the only one of the 3 that got a rework that actually applies to just the base model of the character, and you don't need to purchase a uniform. Gamora, you need to spend that 750 crystals, and it's not worth it. To me, it's not worth it. Okay, so sorry Netmarble. It looks cool and it probably makes you do a ton of damage, but unless it's able to one-shot the enemy, something like Proxima level, it's not worth it to me, and I'm probably never gonna pick it up. So yeah, anyways, last one is actually Star-Lord. And Star-Lord, similar to freaking Gamora, it's the uniform that got the rework and not the base model for the character. I've always wanted this skill right here to be changed, simply because it's a rip-off of just Yondu's freaking skill. And on top of that, I hate the fact that the iframe takes a second for you to activate it. You look right here, and literally in those moments where he's putting on his headphones, he can take damage. I always hated that. I always hated that, because you have no way to control the character once he stops in slow-mo to friggin' put on his headphones, okay? And you always take damage there. Absolutely detest that. However, with the newest uniform for the character, he has more iframes than ever before, and it gives him a big bump to his leadership, so a lot of us already own it. So unlike Gamora's, you don't have to go out of your way to buy it, because to be honest, you're gonna already be buying it simply because it gives him 5% more attack to his leadership. So it takes him from 45% energy attack to blast types to 50%, which a lot of us already owned, myself included, even though I don't use Star-Lord that much. And on top of that, it gave him multiple different iframes. The 5 skill still the same, and I really hate that, but it gave him a longer one on the 3, and it gives him one on the 1 as well. And this freaking change that we just got as of right now is to the 4 skill. And now I'm gonna let this play out, and you guys can tell me exactly what that looks like to you. Let's move these idiots from away from the wall, and you guys can tell me, what does this look like to you guys? This is essentially just ripping off Hyperion, who Rogue already ripped off. Okay. It's sad, but it's more iframes in the character's kit, and it makes it so that his survivability gets a big boost, because that was one of the biggest things with Star-Lord. He had terrible DPS and terrible survivability. However, with this uniform, he had more survivability since he had 3 iframes, 5, 1, and 3, and now he has a long one on the 4. I wouldn't have called for more freaking survivability on the character. I would have called for more damage. However, we got survivability, so my recommendation to you guys is to actually build Star-Lord very, very, very offensively. If we're building him for like I would say PvP, or giving him an invincibility obelisk to keep him alive, scratch that idea. Okay, with all of these iframes, he should be good enough to get the fight done if you build him completely offensively and give him a damage proc. Because to be honest, I was playing with him today. I was playing with them all today in different game modes. I didn't record because I wanted to actually test them out before I gave you my opinion. Just a first impression. I will give you guys some gameplay, I promise. I have them all built, with the exception of Gamora. I believe I have Gamora with an ISO set. I'll show you guys at the end of the video what I have them all set up like. But freaking Star-Lord, this skill, the damage is pitiful, absolutely pitiful. So I'm actually very, very sad about that. It doesn't do that much damage. It's just a way to stall the fight and keep him alive. And Star-Lord already had pitiful damage, so you have to build him very, very offensively if you want to get any real damage out of him. And to be honest, both him and Ultron, I would say, definitely gonna be a better world boss character than they were before. They're gonna be better for Shadowland, and they can definitely, with the survivability that they now have in their kit, clear freaking normal AB at the very least. At the very least, Ultron could never do that before, and I would give them about 50 to about 70k for the average player with average cards in ABX. If you have them at tier 2, I would say they can get anywhere from 50 to 80k. However, with the crazy cards that we have in the game, I'm sure someone is going to manage to get over 100k with these guys, just because. But don't expect a freaking average Star-Lord with average cards to be breaking 100k. His DPS is just not there. It's just not there. Anyways, I'll show you guys what I have them set up as right now, and in the next few days, I'll definitely give you guys some gameplay with them. So Gamora, skills are all at 1 because she doesn't deserve any work. ISO set, power of Angry Hulk, damage proc. Sadly, this does nothing for her. Damage is still pitiful, still no survivability. Okay, take a look at the stats. I won't even bother reading them because they don't matter. But you guys can see for yourself that she is no slouch. She's built better than the average character, even though her skills are at 1. I can max these skills out, but what are they really gonna do? Nothing. Nothing at all. Freaking Ultron. There you go. Take a look at the stats, guys. And this is a really, really old build. I don't even know. Yeah, this needs to be changed simply because I have enough skill cooldown already. And now that Ultron has all those iframes and stuff, I'm debating changing this to a damage proc, but none of his skills really look like they deal that much damage, so I might just leave this. We'll just have to play around with it and see. And I don't believe I showed you guys her gears, but take a look for yourself. I might max them out and get her ready to be tier 2'd. But yeah, freaking Star-Lord, I'll take a look at him, and then I'll send you guys on your way. I want to know what you guys think about these changes. Would you guys have rather getting a freaking rework for Hawkeye, or freaking War Machine, instead of getting another one for Star-Lord? Because he didn't really need to be included in here. And the rework that he got, the skill change, is not really doing too much for him. It's gonna benefit the people who already bought the uniform like myself, but I would have much rather gotten one for a character like freaking Hawkeye, who's still sitting in the dumpster, a character like freaking War Machine that's also in the dumpster, you know, one of those guys. But I have him built up, so I'm definitely gonna give you guys some gameplay with him, and we'll see how it goes, man. I don't expect too much out of these guys, but definitely Ultron is gonna be my favorite and the one that you're gonna see the most gameplay videos out of. Gamora, I may try to play around with her, but to be honest with you guys, don't expect to ever see a video on her unless she actually gets a real rework, because I don't plan to ever buy that uniform. But yeah, that's all I have to really say for this one, guys. Like always, thanks for watching, and I hope this was informative. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.